Hey everyone, welcome to another live stream.
Hello, I'm Toby. That's Heidi.
Welcome to the Crypto Tips live stream. We're really getting these intros down to the T. We got some stuff to talk about today. First off, before I forget, Philip sent me an email really recently saying that he was sent an email from someone trying to be Crypto Tips, promising some kind of guaranteed 2% daily returns. It's not me. I don't do that.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Let's talk about this later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did a video very recently on scamming a scammer, or at the very least, outing them to the world. So if you guys are ever curious what that looks like, check out that video. So hey everyone in the live chat, I want to say hi really quick. W, Josh Davis, Delta, Jason Jenkins, like Leroy Jenkins. Is there any relation? Leroy
David
Jenkins.
D.S.
Huh.
Are you staking Tezos? Definitely Tezos is a great thing to
I think
stake.
David D, if you're in my Patreon, which I believe that you are, you would know that already. But you can definitely stake it, and I would recommend that you stake it from the ledger because it's a pretty secure way of storing it. And what's cool about Tezos is it automatically, the rewards automatically go right back into your balance, so it's like a compound interest. So
And Cardano,
yeah.
Shelly, yeah, looking forward to that.
We'll talk about Cardano a little bit today.
Yeah.
Tectonic from Ireland. Hi, Dee. Good to see you guys here. Dragon Ball Crypto, Brad, Terry, Bill, Seb. Hey guys, it's good to see you guys here.
James, what's up, guys?
Oh, okay. Sorry, Dave. Short answer is yes, and use the ledger for that.
Cool.
Okay. So we're going to get right into the stories today. Came across this interesting article from The Intercept. It says, Pentagon war game includes scenario for military response to domestic Gen Z rebellion. And this is, I think, back from 2018. It looks like, they have all these proposed scenarios and like how they would respond accordingly. And one of these scenarios that they obviously think is somewhat, logical, or it could be happening enough for them to want to create a whole plan for it, is this scenario where Gen Z, which is people who I think were born like in the 90s, where they rise up because of their dissatisfaction from, or their disillusionment, they've grown up with some disillusionment of the Great Recession, of 9/11, and of after having gone through college, the realization that all of that stress, all of that money has gone into a piece of paper that doesn't really set them apart from other people. And so just the lack of jobs, basically. And so, according to the Pentagon, Gen Z could be really pissed off. And what they're going to use to fund themselves, of course, and to distribute the wealth is Bitcoin. So that's why I'm talking about this. And so links to all of these stories are down below in the video description if you guys want to get into it. But what's really interesting here is that like this scenario is also grouped into this is one, and there's like other ones that let's see. Oh, they're calling it Z-Bellion. Making us all sound German. The Z-Bellion plot was a small part of JLASS 2018, which also featured scenarios involving Islamic militants in Africa, anti-capitalist extremists, and ISIS successors. So Gen Z is lumped right in there with the terrorists. I'm assuming they're going to be labeled the domestic terrorists. So I don't want to say that word too much times. We're going to get shadow banned for sure in this video.
Yeah.
But so, Bitcoin is playing a part in all of these hypothetical scenarios that could be happening. And that to me signifies, I mean, not like I need the approval of Pentagon to know that about Bitcoin, but it's here to stay, and it's a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Well, speaking about this, like, I think also universities are going to go down the drain, like, big time after this. I mean, yeah, I can't imagine very many universities actually surviving through the next 10 years. Just no way. Like, I mean, like stationary,
You mean
know,
like,
brick and mortar universities
Yeah.
where you got to go
Yeah.
over there, you got to, you know, show up for class or whatever, drive or whatever. You know, that's not going to work anymore. And plus, how expensive it is. And people are going to realize that many diplomas, those pieces of paper, are completely worthless. I mean, I tell my friends, are like, yeah, I'm going to go study a business, get a business degree. I'm like, why not just use that money that you would have spent on a university for 4 years and start up 3 or 4 businesses? You'll learn way more, and one might be so successful that you're probably not going to have to
Yeah.
get have an employer for the rest of your life. So.
if you have enough ambition to want to go through college and the schooling system,
Yeah.
you can take that ambition and all that energy and put it towards actually doing something that will produce an actual business that you can run, and maybe it will be successful and you can offer jobs to other people. Like you said, you learn far more from actually going through it and from failing than you probably ever would from an entire, college career. Maybe you'll have like one course or 2 courses that are like, kind of helpful or something, but like that's my experience in college. I've had maybe 2 courses or 3 that really stand out that, I mean, and they weren't even anything crazy special. It was like a film class, and the other was like my emergency response class. Like that was about it. But so
I mean, I went through a I got my BA in business, and I didn't learn anything. And I remember the last 2 years of it, during, I forgot what business development or something like that, some course. They were teaching me how to write my resume. Where I'm like, well, I don't want to work my whole life, for an employer. I want to work. I want to make
you
sure.
want to be the employer.
I want to. I want to start my own business, but like, how do I make money work for me? And I was never taught that. So, like, if you're going through business school or whatever, and they're not teaching you how to make your money work for you, I would literally just drop out. Like, get out of it. It's worthless. So, anyways,
Yeah.
next.
So the Mad Cow, hey Mad Cow, good to see you here. He says the university education bubble has burst.
Big time.
For sure.
Definitely.
For sure. Okay, so next up.
No, Heidi did not swear. Somebody asked you if you
I don't know, did I swear?
No,
I'm
I don't
usually
think so.
pretty good about that.
Yeah. She's a good girl.
Okay. So for you guys talking about Cardano and Tezos in the live chat, here you go. Because as we've said before, who really thought Ethereum 2.0 was going to get rolling out in July? They've already said that that's not going to happen in July. So that being said, there are plenty of other platforms that are working with smart contracts that all of those Ethereum killers out there. So for those that have been maybe waiting for Ethereum 2.0 and it keeps getting delayed for other reasons, these might be some platforms that are stepping up into the limelight. I know Cardano is Charles Hoskin had a really good tweet actually about Ethereum, kind of calling it out, how it was developed and how Cardano does have it going for it. It has that strict peer review process, and I made a video a long time ago about the pros and cons of Cardano, and I thought, that was like a couple of years ago already, how this space is moving so fast. The cons of that peer review process would be that, they could kind of fade away, not be keeping up with the competition. But now that we're seeing all of these bugs in smart contracts being played out, whether it's in the DeFi space or within Ethereum in general, with like Parity Wallet mishap, with the DAO mishap, so who knows, maybe the tortoise is going to win the race, and slowly but surely, but a more solid project, in the long run, who knows?
And
It-
when these
It has a huge supply of coins, though.
well, when these projects have bugs, it's a really good thing because, it's people can fix bugs. It's not.
Yeah, but
It's not the end of it.
I think the thing with Cardano or with other projects that are trying to be much more intricate or deliberate is that they'll find the bugs, but before it's been released to the public.
They might not find it, and
Yeah.
and hackers might find
That's
it,
why
which is great too
open
because
source
they're
comes
getting
from.
paid to find the bugs.
Yeah,
essentially.
the white hat hackers.
And then,
There's like the bad hacks, and then there's like the white hat hackers.
Sure.
So, okay.
I have my different thoughts on this.
Yeah, you kind of like it's all good. The means the ends justify the means or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be incentive as well, like for a lot of people.
Well, there's hackathons and that's true. Anyway,
It's a morality subject.
but so here's for those of you who might be interested into researching other smart contract platforms, if you think this is the way that crypto is going to be going and you want to be decentralizing the way that you're investing and you want to get into maybe some smart contract platforms, we have Ethereum first, of course, launched in 2015. And again, this link is down below in the video description. It gives like a little history about the project and what they're all about. Also RSK, which is a side chain of Bitcoin, launched in 2018. Ardor, I don't remember that one. Is that one still going?
Yeah.
Matic, Telos, not to be confused with Tezos, EOS, Algorand, Tezos, and AVA Labs. Still in its testnet phase, so we're not going to look at that one. And then also they have Cardano in here in 2017. So, yeah, well, it'll be really interesting to see now, because Ethereum is known for its delays. It has a lot going for it in that the infrastructure for supporting these smart contracts and actually having dApps that use them and users that use them, it has that going for it. But, if they fall short too much or too often, who knows what's going to happen. So
it's because they're so complicated. If they just simplify, if Ethereum would just simplify, it would make it a lot easier and safer. There'll be less bugs, but yeah, they're not, and they're really political as well. So that's going to add to more pressure as well. So
who is this?
Ethereum.
Oh, political. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So next up, large Bitcoin transfers don't imply market manipulation, just so you know. Not necessarily, at least. A lot of people get their panties in a bunch when they see big Bitcoin moving from one wallet to another. For example, everyone thought Satoshi rose from the dead or came out of hiding or whatever because 50 Bitcoin were moved that hadn't been moved since 2009. But, people do. Bitcoin is a public blockchain, and believe it or not, people might like to move their Bitcoin from one place to another for whatever reason. It's really none of our business.
Well, let me jump in here. Like, I've been in this space for a pretty long time, and occasionally I'll find like a wallet where I maybe put $100 in, back in 2013 or something like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm trying to find like what coin it was because I was careless back then because I didn't know much. And then, then you're like, oh, well, here's a private coin. Wow, it's worth, $1,000. Sweet. I'll get it. And that could have just happened, with this guy's 50 Bitcoin. Who knows? You never know.
Whether it was he randomly invested or he maybe mined some Bitcoin that he forgot about.
It's nothing. That was like $100 investment. Yeah. Maybe.
And also just the fact that it moved doesn't mean so much as to where it's going to or coming from. Is it coming out of an exchange? Is it coming out of, I guess that's why the last movement of that 50 Bitcoin made such a fuss, because it had been in a wallet that wasn't touched before. Is it going to an exchange? Is it going to cold storage? If it's going to cold storage, you probably don't have to worry about it crashing the market because they're not trading it. So there's like on Twitter, they have the whale alert and they're pretty much giving out notifications whenever any kind of movement is happening. For those of you, like, I don't know if you know this, but most of these people think there's like all of these, there's like what, maybe 5 or 10 wallets that are holding most of the Bitcoin in circulation. Those wallets are all owned by centralized exchanges. So it's not like one entity who has the ability to sell all those Bitcoin. I mean, they do technically because it's a centralized exchange and it's in their custody, but it's not like they're not going to be just dumping Bitcoin on the market because they have it in their wallet. So Whale Alert also, lets you know if it's coming from an exchange or whatever. But just things to think about. Maybe it's to keep a cool head and not panic sell or do anything silly in this crypto space. Now, for those of you who might need some hopium, this is the tale of warning for you guys. So I came across this article. Venture capitalist predicts Bitcoin boom to over $150,000 for a Bitcoin. Yes. But he says Ethereum and 4 other altcoins will outperform Bitcoin.
Wow.
So
That's
I did a bit of
amazing.
digging.
Let's hear it.
Well, first we got kind of excited.
Really excited. Oh, man, I can't wait to hear unbacked predictions.
Yeah, but
like
who doesn't get a little
else.
excited when they hear, oh yeah, my coin's going to go up. Okay. So first of all, I did a little digging, and this BlockFire, which is the venture capitalist firm, like on Facebook, their Facebook group has like 170 followers, and also on LinkedIn they have like 50 people. So I don't know how legitimate this guy is, what kind of legitimacy his predictions should be having with us. If not just that, but also because he offers zero explanation for these kinds of dramatic price movements that he is saying. He's saying, I mean, I am not at all endorsing what these predictions are, but this is an example of someone who is so desperate to get attention and for people to check out his investment firm and things like this. He's saying Ethereum is going to go to $9,000. Chainlink is going to go to $200. Binance is going to go to $500.
That's amazing. Can't wait.
VET is going to go to $1. And Tezos, if you guys talking about Tezos in the live stream, it's going to go to, what does it say? $200. Is that right?
We're all going to be rich. Oh, man.
So he gives these predictions with absolutely no explanation or anything. And for you guys, I hope that you can see this and recognize it for what it is, and that is a publicity stunt. And
there's a lot of publicity stunts that go on all over the space on some of the most popular guys on crypto Twitter or guys that's shown up on CNBC or whatever. Yeah, when they're doing price predictions, it's a sign of the need for attention.
Yeah.
So,
or it's a sign that this guy is holding all these coins already, and he's ready to let other people go ahead and enter their positions. He's ready to see some price appreciation. Yeah. Sorry, what?
No. I mean, this is just price predictions make me laugh a little bit, like just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
I guess. But I mean, you know what happens to these guys. They just kind of go on the wayside.
But please don't make your investment choices based on articles like this.
Yeah.
Do more research than that.
Sure.
Especially if you come across something like this and it makes you want to buy the coin, maybe do some digging on the person who's saying the thing, and it might change your mind.
Yeah.
Let alone the coin that you should also be investing in or researching. Okay. So, it's almost dinner time here for us.
Yeah, so this is the most important news of the day. Belgium, man, has received...
Is it really bad news?
Yeah, okay. Belgian man has been receiving pizzas he never ordered for years. I think it's like 9 years this guy has
He's
been
65 years old,
ordering pizzas.
sometimes multiple times a day, all from the same pizza place.
And the poor guy's losing sleep over it. So,
Is it the same pizza place?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the one that took 10,000 Bitcoin from that guy.
Yeah. Maybe he's a Bitcoin guy and they're just paying him back.
That's just funny. I just thought I'd show you
But
guys
how
that.
crazy. I mean, I don't know.
You'd
It's
think,
crazy.
You know, who's paying for all this?
Just go to a homeless shelter and start feeding everyone.
Okay, well, speaking about homeless shelters, so more serious news here. This is just the start. U.S. bankruptcies soar 48% in May, most since the financial crisis. Yeah, so like I said 3 months ago, this was going to happen. As far as the numbers, like nobody would have known the numbers just because, you know, that's just guessing. But you knew that bankruptcies would skyrocket. You know, the more people lose their jobs and the more they can't afford, you know, the rent or whatever. And there you go. So that's the fun part about, you know, shutting down your entire economy without thinking that there's going to be any repercussions. Okay, so a quarter of Americans skipped meals or relied on food banks during virus lockdowns. So, yeah, this is really sad. You know, that those $1,200 checks aren't really working too well. And it just shows that most Americans don't have much of a savings, you know, because, yeah, this is like, it just shows how bad the economy is as well.
It really hits home, too, that, you know, this is what happens when you don't have a savings account. You were seeing it. You're going to start seeing it in your neighbors, maybe, or like an increased number of homeless people in your neighborhood. Because usually people who are living paycheck to paycheck can't even handle like a slight hiccup in the routine. Like they can't handle a speeding ticket, a car accident, some kind of illness that hits. You probably don't have insurance and it sets you back. And something like this, as prolonged of an incidence as this, it's gonna, like, you can't think it's not gonna have any repercussions. And for anyone saying it's gonna bounce right back, there's going to be a lot of people who are not experiencing that, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, you have that whole 2.5 million person employment number, that 2.5 million jobs gained, which is a total and utter lie. I even hate saying that number just because it's such a lie. But no, it's going up. Unemployment's going up. You shut down the entire economy, you're not going to gain 2.5 million jobs. Ain't going to happen. So with that said, expect things to get a lot worse as well, especially after these riots that are happening. I mean, I guess, should I get into my thoughts on the rioting? Is that, so you have that, the pandemic, you know, governments were able to shut down businesses through that, and it wasn't working as well, you know, like, you know, they needed more time. The Fed needed more time to raise their balance sheet. So how else can you stop the economy, essentially? Well, create a race war, you know, and, you know, so there's police brutality. There's a lot of black people getting killed by cops all the time. Why this one, you know, and why did it gain so much media attention? You have to wonder. I mean, like, good timing on that aspect, right? So, boom, race war, people breaking things now, and, you know, businesses have to close. People are out of work even more, and a lot of them are looted, so they're, even if, you know, governments were able to open, or even if businesses were able to open up afterwards, they have to fix their businesses and stuff. And
if they couldn't afford their rent, now they have to completely replace their inventory without any proceeds from selling that inventory. It's just a massive hole for
Yeah.
so many businesses.
Yeah, but I mean, it's great for government because not only do they get to kind of up their UBI, which is Universal Basic Income. That's essentially what's happening in the United States. There's no way around it. Yeah, so it's great. The Fed gets to increase their balance sheet
Yeah.
like they're doing
Speaking of.
crazy amounts. Yeah, yeah, so Senate proposal could provide as much as $10,000 per month to American families to weather the thing. So yeah, it's just I think this has been planned. This isn't a oh darn we got to figure something out thing. No, this was definitely planned. I'm not buying this 1 second. I don't believe anything that is on media without me having to go back and really research what's going on. And you know the coincidences were just way too high with this race war. You know, it's horrible what happened. I'm not saying that wasn't a horrible thing. Of course, that's horrible, but I mean that happens every day, and just the timing of that, man, I don't know. I'm not buying it. You know, so yeah, and now it's happening all around Europe right now. Except Portugal. Portugal hasn't really got anything. I know Belgium's getting blasted by riots. The UK as well. So like really like major economic forces are getting whacked by this. So yeah, it's really, really sad. Okay, so
Hold on. If you guys can still see us, great. We're just maybe lagging a little bit. So I hit refresh and I'm thinking it came back. Okay. We good? You guys see us and hear us?
sweet.
Lagging a lot, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. Well, we're almost done anyway, so we're going to wrap up with a few.
Okay, so the next one. So stocks soar on fresh stimulus flood ahead of worst.
1 second, guys. We're so close to the end. Just hang on.
Best parts for the end.
I know, we got some good ones. Okay, so if you guys are still
All right,
in the
sweet.
other
You guys
treatments-
there?
Okay.
I think we're there.
There's a little bit of delay
I think we're
anyway,
good.
but I think we're good. Okay.
Okay, whatever.
So-
Got 2 more articles. Stick with us.
Okay. Stocks are soaring.
Okay, so this is the
Greatest 50-day rally. Sorry.
That's true. Yeah, read it. Go for it.
Now you go with your thing.
Greatest 50-day rally in the history of the S&P 500. While businesses have been shut, unemployment is the worst it's pretty much ever been in the U.S. and that's happening. So, you know what's happening. You don't have to guess anymore. If you've been watching our show, you understand that the Fed Reserve is printing unlimited amounts of currency and just piling it into the markets. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And because that's where the most people look at the health of the economy. They don't understand. It's on Fox News, CNN, CNBC, or CNBS, that's what I like to call it, and all these other garbage, media propaganda outlets from the state. And, they're pumping out, stocks are doing great. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. So it calms people down a little bit. And,
who else is going to be buying the stocks?
Now you have hedge funds.
It's not the businesses that are all getting looted and the Mercedes-Benzes that are getting on fire.
The people that are mostly buying are the Fed. That's it. They want to own the whole world. Just look at the Fed balance sheet and you can figure that out for yourself. So enjoy the show. It's a complete fake rigged show. And, I think a lot of people are sick of it and want out, and that is why we have Bitcoin. And thank God for that.
Did anyone catch, maybe I can tweet it if you haven't, there's a clip of a protester or rioter, probably not a rioter, he was a protester, a black man, and he had a mask on, and so they put a microphone in his face, and he was completely well-spoken, and he was great, and he said, the system is broken, so exit the system, buy Bitcoin. And then the cameraman immediately
crap.
panned away and like they cut him off. It was so great. But
Guy rocks.
it's really cool.
Too
seeing
bad he didn't
people
have a
that
Bitcoin
represent. Mask?
No,
What?
QR code.
code.
I would have tipped him. Dang.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys like that are awesome.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so last up.
Okay, last one. GDP is now projected to fall 53%, nearly 53%, nearly. So it's probably going to be higher because...
This is a far more, I think, relevant number to
Here
look
we
at the
go.
health of the economy.
Yes.
Clearly, they can't fake this one because it's projected to drop 53%.
Yeah. So, that's it. I mean,
that's what...
There goes the economy.
The gross domestic product is the goods and services that we produce, that the country produces, whether it's their exports or whatever. But it's the things that you're creating that stimulate your economy. That is not the Fed printing currency and stuffing that in the economy. It's people actually creating things that other people actually want to buy, and that's what.
I mean, it's really sick to see this happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I may laugh or whatever, but it is really sick to see.
If you're not laughing, you're crying.
This many people that have no idea what is about to hit them. They have no clue. You know, if you haven't studied this stuff, like most people don't understand economics. I mean, that's why Heidi has her Patreon, so that she can at least teach people. But as far as that, most people don't understand economics, so they're just going to get blindsided by things like this.
Yeah.
And they're going to, you know, we can see it. Clearly, we can see it. It's like night and day. I remember back in... when I was in business school, back in 2001, I was learning about like it's impossible to tell why the economy does well or whatever. Like we don't know. We'll never know. Like
it's a giant mystery. Don't even bother to figure it out.
When these bubbles will burst or whatever. So I'm like, wow, this is impossible. So it kind of like dissuaded me from wanting to even try to learn this stuff because I'm like, well, if it's impossible, forget it. And then, man, I learned about money and I learned about currency, two different things. Mm-hmm. And back in 2000, I think it was 9 or 10 when I started learning about this, or earlier. Like actual fiat money system, like how it actually worked. And then I couldn't get enough of it. I studied it for every day from morning till night, pretty much. It's fascinating reading and sending asking questions to my uncle and stuff, and he ended up just like hating me pretty much. Like he's just like, oh, this guy's crazy, this guy's.
You're poking all the holes in the thing that he loves so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And my friends thought I was nuts. I'm like, well, no, this is how it really is. And I learned that truth is treason in the empire of lies. That's what Ron Paul once said. And so, yeah, I quickly had to learn that and quickly had to just, you know what, I got to do my own thing because nobody else is listening to me. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I got started. Anyways. So, buy Bitcoin. Every one of these drops. You may see like it's kind of flatlined. I'll jump into like Bitcoin or whatever. You may see like it's flatlined. I actually look at. I know it's weird, but I look at CoinMarketCap. I look at the overall market cap. So it's like 275 billion, and because I'm good at pattern recognition.
Yeah.
It really helps me understand where the market is headed.
It also makes them really good at 8-bit video games.
Yeah, really good at 8-bit video games. But I can see like whales are just playing with the price right now. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it if it drops to 269 billion or a little bit under. They're trying their best just to get as much as they can away from weak hands. So with that said, it's my encouragement to you is like, stay strong. Don't worry about the price. Dollar cost average, as Heidi's been saying for so long. And enjoy the ride because it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Like, guys, it's when this thing pops. I remember like the first time that I saw Bitcoin really pop was it went from like $70 to $1,150. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like remembering like Litecoin at 20 cents, just freaking crazy. Those are the good old days.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out, who, like I gotta find out more about this stuff, but there's no YouTubers really. Like there was like one or two guys or whatever, but that was the fun times back then. And when everybody thinks you're nuts, that's when you know you're probably on the right track. Anyways.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay.
Any questions here?
People just want to know where that video is. So I'll tweet that video that I talked about, the guy name dropping Bitcoin.
Seb, Bitcoin learning matters. Absolutely, it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you who are interested, I do a weekly newsletter. Every Sunday it goes out. I share some thoughts on different topics, on things like privacy, autonomy, new developments in the crypto space. So that newsletter goes out every Sunday. You can sign up for it. Go to learningcrypto.com. You'll find the sign up sheet right there on the front page.
End it with this question. Steve V asks, thoughts on Coinbase? Can you recommend another exchange for purchase?
Kraken. Anything but Coinbase.
Yeah, Coinbase, sorry to say, but they suck,
That's
man.
what I should have talked about today.
Gosh, they suck.
So really quick. I reported this in February 2019. I remember because anyway. February 2019, Coinbase acquired Neutrino, which is like chain analysis, or it's like a tracking for blockchain transactions, tracking what people are doing with it, where it's going, who's it's attached to, trying to learn everything that they can about a Bitcoin and your goings on with it. So after a year and a half, they are selling this software to, who are they selling it to, Toby?
IRS.
The IRS. So what Coinbase did was they partnered with this company and they let them test out their software on their customers, obviously, which is why I did the video in the first place, warning people against using Coinbase, especially if they're like trading a lot or anything like that. And now that they've, got enough information flowing through it, they learned a lot of things about a lot of people. They're selling it to the IRS. So I would not recommend Coinbase for anyone. If you want to learn about privacy, I'm going to do a video next. My next video is going to be a clip from my class that I hosted on Patreon. It's not going to be like a teaser video. It's going to have like a lot of information in it. The class itself is like an hour and 20 minutes, and that's way too long to do for a video, and it's for my paid Patreons. But a ton of information if you want to learn about it. Check out the CT Club, patreon.com. You can, in the video description, there's the link to join it. But I did a video on, I did a video on my recommendations for centralized exchanges if you have to use one as an on-ramp with your fiat currency. That list included exchanges like Kraken, Bitstamp. It has high fees. Those two off the top of my head. Kraken is, I would have to say, my top pick just because of their security, and their help desk is really helpful. Yeah. Anyway, check out that video for more information for sure. Anyway, what's wrong with the IRS seeing your data? Jason Jenkins, I recommend you check out my privacy video. Yeah. Because,
check out the privacy video. It's really good.
It's both, philosophical and logical, because why would you want anyone to have any kind of information on you? You don't know what they're going to do.
Especially governments. I mean, I would rather have a white hat hacker or just some
I'm not saying don't report your taxes or whatever. I'm just saying you should know who's getting your information and why, and you should be consenting to that taking of your information. And most of the time, like for example with Coinbase, they weren't being so transparent about that. So anyway, I would not recommend Coinbase. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Check out that newsletter if you care to, learningcrypto.com. and all that stuff. In the meantime, I'll be back again soon with a video for you all. But until then, hope you're staying happy and healthy.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.